Hello everyone! Today I'm going to start showing you how to build my Zootopia toy box. If you saw my documentary last week on the making of this toy box, then you know that I have two versions of it. There's my ideal version, which contains the city's 4 main districts, and then there's the version that I showed in episode 1, which only contains 2 of the 4 districts. I had to remove Tundra Town and the Rainforest District from the full version in order to have enough memory on my Wii U for all of the logic, and I explained all of that in the documentary. In this series, I'm going to show you how to build both versions of the toy box, and I'm going to start with the part of the toy box that's the same for both versions. Now, to build this part of the toy box exactly as I have it, you're going to need 2 power discs. First, you'll need the Sahara Square Sands power disc, shown here. This disc provides the Zootopia terrain and road themes, as well as 9 Zootopia-specific building pieces that you get from the customizable plant clusters. This power disc is part of the Zootopia Power Disc Pack, and I highly recommend getting this pack if you don't own it. Not only does it provide the terrain disc, but also the Zootopia Sky Dome and 2 costume change discs for Nick and Judy, which provides a police uniform for Nick, like you see here, which is pretty cool. And you also get a Meter Maid outfit for Judy, so that power disc pack is definitely worth getting. The second power disc that you will need is Simba's Pride Lands, which provides the African terrain theme and plant cluster customizations that I'm using for part of the toy box. And I believe you're also going to need the Tomorrowland power discs as well, because I think you need those to unlock the Tomorrowland futuristic buildings like I'm using here. One of those pieces, actually 2 of those pieces I'm going to be using. And I think you've got to have those power discs to unlock those. You can check the toy store and see if you can purchase those, but if they're locked, you definitely need those power discs for that. And again, those are the Tomorrowland power discs. Alright, for today's build, I'm going to begin with Savanna Central, which is the main hub of the city. This is the downtown area where you will find City Hall, the Zootopia Police Department, and the Central train station. Here's a screenshot of the train station in Savanna Central from the movie. This is where Judy first arrives in Zootopia. When she exits the train station on the far side of that building, she enters the main hub of the downtown area, which you see here. The train station is in the lower right corner of this shot. In front of the train station is a smaller trolley station, and the roof of that looks kind of like a big leaf. If we go clockwise from there, there's a hotel or apartment building of some kind in the upper left corner of this shot, with a seating area out front. To the right of that is City Hall, and to the right of that is the Natural History Museum. On the right-hand side of this shot is the police department, and there's a park area in the middle with a pond and some trees. Here's another shot of this same area. I don't have the memory, and you probably don't either, to build this in as much detail as I would like, and it would be difficult to try to recreate the shapes of some of these buildings with the limited building pieces that we have anyway. In particular, City Hall, the Natural History Museum, and the buildings in the upper right corner would be tough to recreate without using up a ton of memory, and it probably wouldn't look as good as I would like anyway. But we can recreate that hotel on the left and police headquarters on the right, and they should look decent. Here's another shot of police headquarters. It's a round building with green grass on the top and a round skylight. Stone columns line the front of the building, along with some stone protrusions at the top that look kind of like a crown. Plus, there are some stone towers around the perimeter of the building. And so this is what we're going to build today, and well, at least we'll get started on it. So the first thing we will do is put down the sky changer. And we're going to use out of here, oops, I meant to go into the properties. We're going to go into the Disney Infinity 1.0, and we're going to use the Metroville sky from The Incredibles. That'll be our daytime sky. And if you don't have the Zootopia Power Disc pack with the Zootopia sky, just leave it with the daytime sky, and that should be fine. Alright, for the terrain theme, we're going to use the Sahara Square Sands Zootopia theme, and I'll set that to be my theme. If you don't have this theme, then you could use King Louis's Ruins or the desert theme from the Lone Ranger. Either of those would work probably well, but we're going to use this. And then I'm going to pick this piece up. We're going to put down another piece on either side of this. We'll put down the base of the toy box here first. Then we'll go to the next size smaller. We're going to line this up on the back. And then, let's see. We'll do those. Go kitty corner over here and put down 4. And one more there. Okay? So that's what we end up with. And then go to the next size smaller. We're going to fit a couple of these in here. And then another one of these larger ones in there. If I can get this to move where I want it. There we go. Okay. So that's what you should have to start with. We're not going to build all of that area, but that's the terrain for the foundation of the common area between both toy boxes. And then next we're going to pick up this piece of terrain, and you can see that's the lake piece from the terrain drawer. And if you're on a system with more memory, I recommend using these water pieces, because you'll remember that screenshot had a water area in the middle. We're going to style this using Simba's Pride Lands. If you don't have that power disc, you can use Dragon's Domain or Rapunzel's Kingdom or any other grass theme that matches the color of the grass in that screenshot for the park area in the middle of the hub. Use the pond. Put that here on that end to fill that little part of this. And then we'll pick this little piece up over here, put it back, and we'll drop another one right in here. Okay, so if you're on a system with a little more memory, this is what you should have. And again, I highly recommend using this piece. If you're like me, excuse me, and you're on a Wii U, the water pieces take up a lot of memory. So you probably don't want to use these because you're going to want to save memory. Excuse me. So use just some plain terrain blocks in here. Okay. And that's what you end up with. So there's our terrain base. And let's go ahead and put the road in now around the perimeter of the park. In the screenshot we had trolley tracks that went around the park. But we don't have trolley tracks, and so we're going to use the roads. And I'm going to style this using Sahara Square Sands. All of the roads will use this theme. Again, if you don't have that power disc, just use Toy Box roads. That's probably your best alternative. And I think I set that to be my theme. And then we're going to line this piece up and we're going to drag this over like you see there. Alright, and then use the long racetrack and drop that in on that side. Put another one over on the edge of the road over here. And then we'll grab this piece of road. That in there like that. And we'll go ahead and fill in the opposite side of this too. And there we go. So there's the road around the park. Okay, let's start with the hotel that's over in this back corner. And so for that, we'll go down to the terrain blocks first. And I'm going to put a couple of spacer blocks in here just to help us out. Put the first one on the back corner. And then one of those. And then go up to the buildings category. We're going to use the sandstone building. Put that right up against that terrain block and right on the back edge of the toy box there. And put 2 of these down. Okay? And then for the doorway on the front of that, we're going to use this little facade, which is also from the buildings category. The Metroville Deli. And to cover up that ugly seam in the middle, we'll drop this right there like that. And that roof had a little bit of a green edging around the top. And I found that this piece here will work the best for that. That is out of the Building Sets Group 3, one of the Main Street USA buildings. Building pieces. So we'll bring this up here, put it right on the corner like that. We're going to put one of these on each corner. And then just fill in the roof around the perimeter. And that looks pretty good. And then there was a sign up there on the middle of it, and the closest thing I found that matches that is out of Building Sets Group 2. It's this sunburst billboard. So you can look at the editor down there and see where you find these pieces that I'm using. I figured it was easier to place these ahead of time and do that than to try to do a lot of scrolling. So there's our first building, and that was the one in the screenshot, and I think it looks pretty close to the one that we had there. Now for the trolley station, that's going to run along here. And for that, I'm going to use these railroad tracks from the Marvel Battlegrounds playset. If you don't have this track piece, then you could use one of the basic building blocks, which would be the flat piece. And pick a metal style that reminds you of train tracks. And I think you'll be pretty good. There's a few of them in there. There's a floor grate from the Star Wars styles. That could work. There's a couple others in there. They don't look exactly like train tracks, but they could do the job. Alright, now that we've placed those, we can go ahead and delete these helper blocks. And then, since we don't have anything that looks like that trolley station with the leafy roof, closest thing we have is this piece. So we'll go ahead and use that. And we'll put 2 of these down like that. Okay, so that looks pretty decent. And let me pull up my screen grabs here just to make sure I get this right. Yeah. Okay. And if you wanted, there is a... if I can select the silly thing. We have the subway directory. And you could place this right here in front of the of the thing. And drop it right in here somewheres. I think that would look pretty cool. Alright, now let's move on to the police headquarters on this side of the park there. And I want to pick up this piece of terrain. And we're going to drop a little helper block to help us space everything correctly. That's going to sit right on the end of that block, just like you see there. And then we're going to go grab this piece, pick that up, and we're going to bring this over. And we're going to set this, let's see, make sure I get this correct. It's going to sit right on the corner like that. Okay. We're going to place two of them stacked up and do the same here. And then piece number 7, we're going to sit like this. This is going to give us the round shape for police headquarters. It also has the grass on top, which is perfect because that matches the picture also. Alright, so there's the shape of police headquarters. Now, to help cover up some of these seams, and also because we had those stone columns, we're going to put some blocks along the front of this. So we'll go to our basic blocks, and let's go left here. We're going to need some of these support arches, the short ones. And we're going to need 3 of these. So I'm going to temporarily put down 3 of those. And then we're also going to need some of these tall blocks. For the theme on these, we're going to use the Agrabah stucco theme. So we have to scroll over and grab that. That's about the closest match we have to the stone that was on police headquarters. Agrabah Bazaar stucco. I'll set that to be my theme. Since I already dropped these down, we'll go ahead and apply those. Alright, and so for these tall blocks, we're going to place the first ones right up here, cover up those seams, and then we're going to need 2 more on either side there, just so we can do this build without things getting in the way. Let's move those over. I don't want those running into anything when we go to put other stuff down. Alright, this first one we can move right up against the building. Just like that, and drop it down in place like that. Now, I would like these to go around the building and kind of follow the curve. And we can't do that, unfortunately, because I can't angle these at anything other than 90-degree angles. And so we're going to have to use a path. And so I'm going to put down just a couple more helper blocks here, which I think will help us place the paths properly. So we're going to place 2 little helper blocks right like that. And then we'll go up to the Creativitoys, grab the path creator. We're going to put the path right here like that. So on the back corner of the block, 1 nudge back. And that didn't put us in point mode, so let me delete that and do that again. And we'll just go down below the terrain a little bit and exit. And we're going to put another one on the same side right off the back corner of that block. Okay, and then second point will just drop below the terrain. Alright, on the properties for both paths, turn off the active and auto start objects when connected. And actually active stays on, sorry. Just auto start goes off. And then we can delete that block. Sorry for all the throat clearing. I actually had COVID over the holiday and still got a little of that gunk in my throat, so apologize for that. I'll try to edit some of those out, but I may not be able to do all of them. Alright, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and bring our columns in here. So if we select that and do a new path connection, we'll bring the first one over and connect it to the path like that. And then we'll select the block, go into the properties, toy box path, and out of these properties, let's see, those are fine. Those are fine. Forward, backward offset, we're going to put that at -1. Rotation, we'll set that to 60. Okay? And yeah, I think we have to do it that way. Doesn't look like it should be going that far into the building, though. That's the thing. So we may have to tweak this a little bit. Let me bring this out. And there we go. So horizontal offset will be -1. Okay. Sometimes you have to play with that a little bit, depending on how you oriented these blocks when you put them down. Alright, we'll go into the logic menu for this one. New path connection. If it isn't the forward-backward offset you're changing, then it's the other one, the horizontal offset. Alright, properties, toy box path. Again, these are all fine. Probably going to be the horizontal offset again, -1. And rotation, this time we're going to set to 30. Okay, and there, that puts those around the perimeter. And then we'll connect these up to the path as well with a new path connection. Toy box path. Select that block. Go into the properties. And for this one, horizontal offset is going to be -5. Vertical offset is going to be 8. That raises it up to the level where we need it. Forward-backward offset will be -3. And for the angle on this one, we'll set to 50 on the rotation. And let's see what that looks like. Whoops. It didn't angle it the correct direction. Oh, 345 is what I had to set the angle to on this one. I was looking at the wrong one. So the rotation on this one needs to be 345. Sometimes you just have to play with these things to get them the way you want. Let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. And then we'll connect this one up to the other path. Again, select that block. Make sure you got the right one. Properties. Horizontal offset -5. Vertical offset will be 8. This time forward-backward is going to be 3. Rotation on this one is 15. Alright, so there's the front of police headquarters, and that looks pretty good. And then there's a couple of the stone towers on either side, and for that I thought we could use this piece, Tatooine building pieces. You unlock this in the Twilight of the Republic playset. And we're going to sit this back about like that. Put one on either side. So there we go. And by the way, that also gives you a way to get up on the roof, because you can climb the back of this thing and then jump over there like I did in the video. Okay, how we doing on time? Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. All right, for the screen where you're going to get all your mission briefings, I'm using this screen, which is out of the decorations drawer. It's the shield screen, and you unlock this in the Marvel Battlegrounds playset. And we're going to set this right over here. Just somewhere in here, like that maybe. If you're on a PC or you don't have Marvel Battlegrounds, then you can use the kiln piece here, the kiln pylon, which is from the Escape the Kiln 2.0 game. That is available on 3.0, so you could use that as an alternative. And then we got our little traffic signals. These are out of the decorations drawer. We just place these on the corners like that, and we're going to do some more of these a little later, so I don't have to worry too much about those, but I'm just showing you where you find these. And this one's right near it in the decorations drawer. We're going to sit this one right by here. Back up a little bit. And we'll place some more of those around the toy box later. Alright, so it's starting to take shape. It's looking pretty good. Again, City Hall, that would sit right over here. And unfortunately, we don't really have anything that looks like that. The closest building piece we have is in the Tomorrowland buildings. We kind of have this little swoopy shape piece. The shape of that kind of matches a little bit what you see on the City Hall. You'd have one of these on either side. There's a waterfall coming down between them, and then a base down there. But those take up a lot of memory, and I couldn't figure out how to make a City Hall that looked good. It just looked really tacky. And I think that's why in the official developer toy box they made for Zootopia, they used a lot of the plain buildings instead. And we're going to see that next time as we build the rest of the downtown area back here. One last thing before we wrap this up for today. If you're on a system that has more memory than my Wii U, and you want to take a stab at building the train station, you would put that behind the trolley station back over here. Okay? And here are some screenshots of the train station that may help you build it. This is the back side of the station where the trains enter and leave. You can pause this video to get a better look at these shots. Here's a shot of the interior of the station. And here's another shot that's looking in the opposite direction. And if you want to see an example of how you could build this in the toy box, check out a video of the Nick Wilde Arrested toy box by Daddy3 that was made back in 2016. I'll include a link to a playthrough video of it in my video description. Daddy3 also built a more detailed version of police headquarters than I did. But I think this is a good stopping point for today. Next time, we'll work on the rest of the downtown area that makes up Savanna Central. If you enjoyed my video today, please hit the like button and leave a comment to let me know what you think of my build for Savanna Central so far. I know I've got a ways to go yet, but it's a good start, and I'd love to hear from you. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, just click my photo in the lower right corner of this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be back on Monday with the next part of this build. Take care.